We're going to start our unit on Southeast Asia. So, just for a visual, we're kind of moving away from South Asia, which is kind of this area. And here we talked about India, Pakistan, Nepal, kind of that area. Now we're moving into this region here. So, this is what we'd call an archipelago region, where we have a lot of different islands. Okay, as you can see here, not a lot of large land masses. Your biggest one is going to be like your Thailand, Myanmar, and we'll talk about that more here in a little bit. So that's just kind of a visual right there in that area is where we're focusing our attention on. Those are some of the countries in Southeast Asia. Peninsulas and islands. By now, you guys know that a peninsula is a landmass covered by water on three sides. Malaysia is both a mainland and an island country. So you've got Malaysia here. Laos is the only landlocked country in the region. So that's why I'm saying it's largely an island or peninsula region. So Laos is the only country landlocked. Island countries include Brunei, East Timor, Indonesia, Singapore, and the Philippines, which I've actually been to the Philippines, neat area. Indonesia is the largest country, right here, the biggest one. Singapore consists of one large island and 50 smaller ones. Let's find Singapore. It's not showing up here, but it's actually in here. Okay, a bunch of little islands. All right. And the Philippines is made up of more than 7,000 islands, 11 of which are home to 95% of the population. There's just another diagram, some physical features. Some mountains are active volcanoes forming part of the Ring of Fire. That's talking about that Pacific Ring of Fire, which is where the tectonic plates collide, in this case, between the Asian, Eurasian land plate and the Pacific plate, and they collide, forming these volcanoes. Java, an Indonesian island, is one of the Ring of Fire's most active volcanic areas. 17 of Indonesia's 100 active volcanoes. Right. Some of the rivers. Probably none of these you may have heard of, but we got three big ones: the Irrawaddy, the Chao, and the Red River. These are in Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam, and these are all primarily used for transportation purposes. They do flow southward toward the Gulf of Thailand. It's kind of unique, a little bit different from some of the other rivers we've talked about that flow north. These ones flow south. Natural resources, won't spend too much time on this, but coal, oil, natural gas, obviously those are your money makers. But as we're going to see in a little bit, actually Southeast Asia's kind of claim to fame is not coal, oil, or natural gas. It's going to be something different, which we're going to see here in just a minute. It is going to be their flora. Now, flora in Latin refers to plants and flowers. The economy of Southeast Asia thrives from plants and flowers as a resource, such as if you ever see beautiful orchids, or if you ever go to the hardware store and buy plywood, likely came from Southeast Asia. So they really rely on their flora, their plants, as an export. Now, fauna, on the other hand, are in Latin means animals. So Southeast Asia is home to very exotic animals such as elephants, rhinoceri, tigers, orangutans, Komodo dragons, so on and so forth. And in addition to that, fishing is a huge industry due to obviously being an archipelago area. There's a lot of access to water and coastline. All right. And the last topic we're going to discuss is the different climate types. All of these we talked about way earlier on in the year, but just like most other areas we talked about, there's kind of a diverse amount of different climate zones, but for the most part, we're going to see either a tropical or kind of a subtropical type climate. So obviously tropical climate, excuse me, I can't talk. Tropical climate means it's close to the equator and it's pretty hot year round. Okay, summer monsoons, we talked about this in our last unit. These are those seasonal wind patterns that bring moisture, and especially in the rainforest areas. Okay, just kind of piggybacking off that. Most of the area is high humidity with lots of rainfall. So that goes along again with this tropical rainforest climate. Singapore is largely rainforest, for example. Tropical savanna is where, again, tropical refers to being in the tropics. It's close to the equator. But savanna, you don't see as many like rainforests, like jungle type vegetation. Savanna, you see kind of more like a grassy, brushy type um, vegetation. But the Indochina Peninsula and the islands of Indonesia is an example. Let's see if we can find the Indochina Peninsula. Here we go, Indochina Peninsula right here. This is going to be your savanna, kind of like in Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam. Okay. Humid subtropical, so this is kind of below the tropics, so it's a step below, so you're going to start to see maybe more of a cooler season. Parts of Thailand, Laos, Myanmar, northern Vietnam. And finally, the highland climate. So this is in high elevation areas, so in the mountains of Myanmar, New Guinea, and Borneo, where you have cooler temperatures.